Hello dog lovers, it's Silent Signs from I Dream of Indie, and today we are taking a look at The Last Friend, a tower defense meets brawler. In The Last Friend, you play as Alpha, who is out to rescue all the dogs from a bunch of jerks who kidnapped them. Oh, and also he can talk to and understand his little mutant dog, Juan. I'll be honest with you, the plot here, not super important. It's more about the gameplay, and it is a pretty fun game to learn and develop your skills in. I had absolutely no idea what I was in for when I started up The Last Friend, but it turns out it's basically a tower defense game, but instead of your standard tower defense skills, you're going to have to hone in on your brawler abilities. What happens is essentially you have an RV that you need to protect at all costs. In order to do so, you have to switch between a series of lanes in order to beat up baddies that are trying to take you down. You'll do so by throwing kicks, punches, and special moves at a whole bunch of weirdos that come at you, all of which have one thing in common. They've kidnapped the dogs and you are trying to set them free. You don't have to work alone though. The dogs that you've already set free are now on your team and you can enlist them to help you. These dogs have all sorts of special abilities, including turret guns, as well as things that will help boost your HP or allow you to collect more scrap, which is what you need to build up your turrets and defense in the first place. Most levels you will fight through 3 waves of baddies before completing your mission and setting a dog free. There are also some special levels where you'll have to complete a specific task. For example, setting Juan free from a capsule he has been entrapped in. At the end of each level, you will receive a star rating, and stars can actually be used to upgrade your RV as far as defense or the ability to collect scrap as well. The dogs themselves can also be leveled up using dog bones, which you can collect from enemies that you've defeated. And from there, really, the strategy is up to you. Are you going to go brawler heavy and really just take the enemies on head first using your brawler abilities, or are you going to use your canine companions to help you more heavily and implement more of your turrets and walls in order to protect the RV? You can also figure out which canines work best on your team and kind of create your own dream team based on their abilities. As a button masher myself, I definitely relied heavily on the brawler side of this game. I'm not super great at strategy, I'll be honest, and I did find it to be a bit on the easier side, especially in the earlier stages of this game. There really wasn't a whole lot of threat to my RV in the first place. I did die a few times just because I went in swinging and didn't really pay much attention to my surroundings, but that wasn't the game's fault at all. That was purely me being kind of stubborn. But I was actually focused and paying attention. It's really just a breeze to get through these levels. That's certainly not to say it's not fun and charming, it's just not necessarily a challenge. Speaking of charming, the graphics are really cute. I mean, it's a game about dogs, what's not to like? The art style is certainly cartoony and colorful. It's got some nice sharp lines and design to it. And at the end of the day, it's just really freaking cute. The fight style and attacks are all kind of over the top. I mean, you're fighting these baddies with a super soaker in some instances, so don't expect any sort of realism or graphic nature to this title. I enjoyed the overall aesthetic and the art style was really pleasing to the eye. I did get tired of some of the enemies that get thrown at you from the very beginning all the way to the end, but I never got tired of the dogs, and I think that's what really matters here. As far as the sound side of things, I think it's a pretty rocking soundtrack that plays well into the brawler aspect of the game. It's certainly more guitar heavy in the levels themselves where you're facing off against enemies. In the more laid back scenes, it has a bit more of a string emphasis. The game is not fully voice acted. As far as any bits of story go, you are going to be reading text, but you do have dog barks here and there and some other fun sound effects to kind of contribute to the overall fun factor of the sound design. Honestly, if you're a dog or animal lover in general, you're probably going to find something you enjoy with The Last Friend. Again, I wouldn't look to this game for a huge amount of challenge or even a whole lot of strategy because honestly you can go in swinging and be pretty successful, but there's certainly some fun to be had here. There's definitely a charm to it, and it certainly put a smile on my face. So will you sit and stay with the last friend for a while? Let me know in the comments down below. Before I go, I just want to thank our indie warriors Mitchell Hall, Bunny Cavalo, Bill Tcaz, Christian Cruz, Chris Jackson, Nathan Moore, Peach Adriana Amato, CJR, PSC, C-Coil, Skepticism, Jen Rose, Jesse, CPM, Julian Colbus, and JRS8. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, don't forget you can subscribe down below so you don't miss any reviews or previews, and check out the description box if you'd like to see how to become an indie warrior yourself. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.